2017 marks 20 years since Mexico reformed its pension system in line with World Bank recommendations. Today, the country's largest Afore is 21 Banorte, with assets under management worth $35 billion. Join me are Juan, Manuel, Valle, Pereña and Sergio, Mendez, Centeno. You've been leading Mexico's pensions industry since 2014. How have you been maintaining your lead?
It is important to put in context that before the pension system reform, there were no institutional investors in Mexico. There were no asset managers. So in the work we have been doing is not only something that we have to do because we are the largest, we have to be the one setting the path towards the future. One of the first challenges is to be able to put together a team that understands the long-term strategy behind asset management. We have to educate the people saving that the long-term strategy is what they should expect to look after, and that there's no better alternative for them in the longer term than investing their resources through the pension system.
You were the first Afore to gain approval from the pension regulator's new benchmarking process. Can you talk me through this idea? What was the motivation behind it?
Having a benchmark, the funds have a guideline. Let me put it that way, a target in which you cannot be distracted and you can put your goals in the long term. The benchmark comes from an exercise in the case of Afore XXI Banorte. We hire external advisors in order to create this benchmark that comes from an optimization process, utilizing the full investment regime that allows us to invest from fixed income locally to alternatives abroad and locally, and we use capital market assumptions in order to find the right portfolio, the right benchmark, the right guideline. So right now we have this guideline that includes also our investment philosophy and includes the way that we assess risk. And it's key to be transparent. The benchmark helps you in order to do that because you don't have to lose your long-term target because of short-term risks. So we are always in touch with the people who want to have information in order to give them transparency and to explain how the portfolio is working.
On the subject of transparency, as you expanded your alternative investments portfolio, you really embedded transparency into that process. Tell me more.
Our targets are well known. We explain to everyone in the market is saying what are we looking for and what are the strategies that we are trying to build in order to create the alternative portfolio. So the manager goes into the internet and then he files all the information there, all the things that are required in order to be accepted. Then the analyst starts the process and then start the discussions on the manager, doing background checks, how the manager is doing, how much money, what are the pipeline. Then we have legal, we have compliance, we have CEO, CIO, we have analysts discussing if that is the right manager to give money in order to create the alternatives strategies that we are looking for. So at the end, what we do is we obtain the authorization from the investment committee to say, yes, this is the right strategy, this is the right manager, this is the right amount of money that we want to give to the manager. So now we can proceed to invest with them.
So tell me more about your investment philosophy.
First, we need to fully use the investment regime. That is important because if you utilize the investment regime that goes from fixed income to alternatives, you will have a very good long-term diversification. After that is to assess which part of the investment cycle we are in. Internationally, because we have a portfolio that allows international investments. Then finding the right vehicle in order to better capitalize. So the investment philosophy at the end is very macro-oriented, and it's something that will be exactly the same in an expansionary cycle as in down cycles.
And looking ahead, what challenges do you need to overcome?
The first one is the consolidation of the team in the structure, in the way we work, and in the people, in the individuals, that although they have a lot of experience, they have not been working together for a long time. So you need to consolidate a team for everything to work perfect. Second, we need to take full advantage of what the investment regime allows us, particularly in our investments abroad and in alternatives. So we are undertaking now a new mandate on US equities and also commodities. So during the year, we should go out and look for the best managers in both cases. I think voluntary savings is a key element. No? Today, we mostly deal with mandatory contributions, and that's a challenge. People in many countries are not having enough resources for their retirement, we have to make them understand that they need to save. So voluntary savings is a key element for everyone.
Juan Manuel, Sergio, thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. For more on Afore XXI Banorte, go to worldfinance.com and please subscribe for more pensions news as well as all the latest insights from World Finance.